The winner of this goes straight to the grand final. Don't go anywhere. Get yourself ready for one of the hypest matches in history, casted by Suns fan and his friend. True.
Thank you, Sir Action Slacks. I feel like there was a lot of meaning behind the word friend there. Whether intended or not, we'll have to find out later. Suns fan with Cinder, and as he said, this is game 3. Winner ends up facing PSG LGD in the grand finals. That's true. They've been the dominant team of this tournament thus far. But this is going to, I mean, if it's anything like game 2, and we get more tier 5 items, which, I mean, based on the odds, probably not going to happen, Cinder. But looking at these lineups, I want to just say, and tell me where I'm wrong here, Phantom Lancer as a hero this tournament, kind of underwhelming. This is after like a lot of the nerfs to the shards specifically from, I want to say, like a month ago.
Yeah, I think the best showing from the hero was when it was picked by, I want to say, was it PSG LGD against Nigma in the upper bracket? I think they picked PL into Terrorblade in a similar fashion, like a late pick in the draft that was relatively uncountered, and it did very well in that game, played by Ame. But yeah, this game is going to be very different from the last because I think the lineups are very different in nature. E.g. with very powerful team fight, you've got Puck, Sand King, Phoenix. Whereas T1, their team fight largely coming from the Elder Titan, who's kind of like a combo breaker. And then they have the easy initiation of both Dragon Knight and Align with Dagger. And they're playing core ET, which is very uncommon. I think SCA is one of the regions that might run this the most, but it's not something I'm very familiar with seeing. Obviously, the primary reason what prompted this pick for T1 is probably the two things. First of all, they want a way of combo breaking this massive team fight and getting out if they need to. And secondly, core ET gets farmed, and therefore he can run at Terrorblade. And then you get that armor removal that will make PL and Dragon Knight just way stronger against Terrorblade than they usually are. So a lot is going to come down to the early laning. It's going to come down to getting items. EG, I think, has a really strong timing when their team fight comes online, and T1 has a really strong timing when they get specific items. Aghanims and Titan, and I think the daggers for them are really important. So we'll see. EG are starting with an aggro tri-lane once again. They're going to leave Ice 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 solo top lane on an island on Sand King. And we have Carl versus Abed in mid. Very classic Dragon Knight favored matchup against the Puck in the game. I think in lane both heroes farm. But that stun is obviously going to be very annoying for Abed to deal with.
I just have to mention, both Terrorblade and Puck, Arteezy and Abed's, basically they're heroes of the tournament, if not multiple tournaments at this point.
Yeah.
Both given to them, essentially.
But it came at a trade, right? They chose to pick Puck, and they end up facing Dragon Knight and Lion. So two of the best counters as Whiteman and Crit going at it. Crit will come out slightly ahead, but have to run away, of course, by being melee. Forcing the salve.
Yeah, but they do start out in that tri-lane, like you said.
They are
it looks
really
like
shutting down Savage here.
Yeah. I mean, last time they did this, they kept it up for a few waves, and then Crit started to kind of rotate out a bit. You expect kind of the same thing here?
I'm not sure, actually. The problem for Tusk is that ganking mid, I do think he can gank mid on level 2 if he skills shards. Dragon Knight is one of the better heroes at surviving a Tusk gank by having high armor against the tag team. But if he's this low, obviously there's a potential kill. As far as the top lane goes, I'm a bit worried for Ice 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 that he doesn't get any help. Playing Sand King 1v2 and getting shut down is so hard because you counter this item with a Sentry Ward. And mind you, this item is cheaper and you have more of them than you used to. So you can just keep shutting this guy down. You can keep investing in sentries if you want in this top lane. Or, I mean, as it looks right now, they're just going to leave him alone. Cuckoo is going to solo that lane, and Zephyr is looking for potential other plays on the map.
Yeah, Crit shutting down.
PL into the game.
Crit ends up taking the Water Rune bot, which leaves the top one for Abed if he chooses to do so. Obviously, just wants to pressure Carl for the time being. Can always lose
Carl actually going
there.
for it here. He's going to force the orb.
Get it as a result.
But that's going to cost Abed CS, actually. That's pretty smart from Carl. He chose to go there at the time that 3 creeps were low. And he is giving Abed the choice, do you want to get these CS or do you want to get the rune? And Abed does get the rune, but at the cost of, I think, 100 gold there. And yeah, Carl with a great start here. 13 for 3 against 7 and 4. Cuckoo sitting on 14-7 against the 5-0 Sand King. Very expected with the head start he got. And ET is just so good in melee 1v1 with this build. He just smacks him. As long as there's a Sentry, Ice has to stun and run. Like,
Yeah,
it's not fair.
Ooh.
Oh my. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody else to help him out here, so Ice kind of living on the edge right now.
And PL still has farm bot. Like, I feel like T1 actually got off to a really good start here. And now that they're rotating Ench down here, they're going to have the stronger tri lane as well. Enchantress is one of the best tri lane heroes as long as she's access to
nice shard, blocking him in. Nice job from Crit. Arteezy pounding away now. That's going to be first blood for Arteezy. Can't choose a better hero if you're an EG fan.
Ready to get sharded off there. And obviously the 3v3 favoring T1 very dependent on an Ench creep. The moment it expires, EG just go. They pounce on him immediately. Get off to a good start on Arteezy, like you said. Still,
I mean, for Sand King in general, you kind of brought this up with the jungle. If they're going to actually go aggro in there at some point, it looks like Zephyr. A little bit of pressure to Abed right now. Illusory Orb for that top water rune. He's going to get Dragon Tail. No, Waning Rift will put that to an end.
Great play from Abed there. That was perfect.
But how much comeback potential does a Sand King have if you get off to kind of a rough start here?
You can always farm stacks in the jungle with Sandstorm, and you can like start cutting waves, but he's not like... It's not great, because the build-up... Okay, hang on.
Right, another attempt here, this time onto Whitemon. Like you said, the Ice Shards don't completely block him in, but makes him choose a different path than he would otherwise take. So another kill for EG in this try-v-try.
Very, very important for EG to just pounce on every opportunity they're given, because when these three heroes are together and they do have a creep on Ench, I do think these moves don't exist. But this time Zephyr wasn't there yet, and they get in on Whitemon and get that kill. Nicely done. Yeah, as far as Sand King recovery goes, usually if you're having a great start on Sand King, you would like to go Veil and then Dagger, or maybe you go some sort of like tanky build with Bracer or something like that. In this game, you're probably so far behind that you have to go for the Dagger, or it's going to come too late. And that just means that in this build-up period where you're farming up those 2k gold, you're very exploitable for this ET as long as it's a Sentry. He's going to go Soul Ring so you can keep the mana flowing. Then I imagine we will see that Dagger queued up. Maybe Boots on the way. And yeah, 15-0 against 13 and 14.
Just what I...
Not exactly a good time.
Yeah, of course, he's been playing these heroes that want to initiate and get their... I mean, he's been playing Dragon Knight a lot, so that's a very tanky hero. Sand King, not exactly that tanky. Maybe more elusive than tanky, I guess. As bot lane, another Ice Shard's blocking a bit here for 23 Savage, but just going to doppelganger away.
They're trying to pressure the tower with Siege. They're forcing out spells. Got to be a little bit careful with not overextending here as EG, because any TP rotation from Elder Titan or Dragon Knight could be powerful, but they've taken advantage of the fact that, look at the resources, right? 100 mana on ET. I think Dragon Knight's sitting on 100 as well, so neither hero are really able to connect. So they can squeeze out that advantage from the resources that are missing. And more than anything, Dragon Knight actually...
First coil of the game. Crit is here as well with that tag team. Abed, nobody's going to give you high five, at least not on team. Okay, he just walks right out, but the Ice Shards blocks him in, and eventually they'll take it. Nobody's going to give him high five. That feels pretty... what?
Okay, that is big.
Ice. He had half the CS as Cuckoo, but gets the solo kill.
That is a huge kill for Ice.
Wow. That must have been like a caustic finale on creeps or something like that, right?
Think about it. He got this kill, and he's still behind on gold after getting a 1v1 kill.
Yeah, but that pretty much brings him back, though.
Yeah, he's drawing the lane now. That is the biggest kill of the game for sure. Very nice. So we're seeing it here.
And Burrow Strike, and just the creeps doing a lot of the damage here.
Cuckoo just overestimating his tankiness. He had like 250 health or something, 300. He's going to get a refill and reconnect to lane, but this does put Ice at a very big level advantage in that top lane. Ooh,
Carl
dodged. Very nice from others.
Shining Rift to follow. He'll be able to maneuver himself around. We see that Cuckoo is actually going for a Hand of Midas. Thoughts on this?
He's playing for late game. Yeah. He wants to get Midas Ags, I think.
I mean, and for those that haven't seen an Elder Titan core, especially once he gets a ton of farm, this is a scary freaking hero. When we saw the Ags last game, that was on a support.
He's an excellent anti-carry late game against heroes that have high base armor, and Terrorblade is #1. So, crit TPs. They get the coil.
Waning Rift just for the mobility. Coil, like you said, tag team to follow. Do they have enough damage to actually kill him off? Carl
missed completely. Oh, actually, never mind. They hit
looks like Carl gets blocked a bit here. Crit is actually going to dive down with that snowball. Looks like it'll be enough, just barely, to kill Carl. So in the end, the EG do get the kill. Takes a lot longer than they were anticipating. War Stomp is there. He's going to get healed from Fly. Waning Rift to the low ground. Cuckoo trying to chase, but...
EG doing a very, very good job at executing these skirmishes. 5-0. They've just been outplaying on these moves. Like Dragon Knight there, so close to living because of a good breathe fire.
Are you guys
Getting that
gonna play
damage
the
reduction
game?
on 2 of EG's heroes, but still, crit chases him down. Gets it.
Ice has, really, he's got a Ring of Health queued. I'm not sure if he bought it. Is he going Vanguard? Did he get a bit booster coming or something? Or maybe going for pipe this game?
I mean, he could. Can you play this game without dagger because you're with Puck? Like maybe go Crimson against the PL, and you just try to enable your team fight in this strong mid game timing that you hit, and try to avoid it getting to late game at all.
I mean, what are your thoughts
could
on
do that? Actually, it wouldn't be too bad.
What is Sand King like against PL in the mid to late game? Because back in the day when this worked this way, the Aghanim Scepter against Illusions was crazy,
Insanely
but it doesn't
good,
work that way anymore.
Right. When it applied Caustic Finale to Illusions, he was literally one-shotting PL.
Yeah, it was great. That was a golden age of Dota. PL wasn't here.
Yeah, gotta love that. What? He's queuing an Urn.
Oh, good attempt there from Crip, but Whitemon positioning itself nicely.
How does Sand King fare against PL? I think he does well for the time being. Like, let's say 20 minutes, you're 25, 25 minutes, you have Crimson Guard, +1 item, you're fine, but PL will eventually overwhelm you, and you're going to struggle against Mana Burn. Sand King without mana is garbage, and his spells are relatively costly, so he's playing against both Mana Drain from Lion and the Diffusal Blade from the Phantom Lancer that he's building his first item is going to be a problem for Ice. Seeing this Ring of Health really just makes me think he's going Crimson. Like, I don't think there's any other like high-value item he would go with this here. Unless I'm missing something. I don't think so. Yeah, working on the Diffusal.
Yasha just jungling now. Yeah.
So everybody's building up. Like, EG are up 5-0, so it's looking like a great game for them on the scoreboard, but 3 of the top 4 cores are still T1. They have especially won the mid lane very hard with the Dragon Knight against Puck matchup. Carl is beating out Abed by 700 net worth, even though he died.
Oh,
Fly.
He knew he was invis, taking the risk anyway, and looks like he's going to fall before being able to use that egg or a dive or anything, for that matter. He did get the sentry though, Cinderin.
Ice. He's in a sentry ward.
He sure is. He's actually right next to it now, getting chased by these illusions continually.
Fine. And
Carl pressures the tier 1 tower. Abed's still looking for that elusive high 5 that shall never come, apparently. He's very sad. Maybe he'll get it after the game in person.
This is actually kind of problematic for EG. They're almost losing the tower, so they pre-salve Carl, so he's tanking the tower for very long. They bring in an inch creep with the bonus armor to tank the next shots.
Oh, wow.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's dead.
They lost their tower minute 10.
They will get the deny at the very least, but yeah, that's... I mean, it is a Dragon Knight. We gotta expect that at some point, but it's a little earlier than we're used to seeing for sure.
And it is a really good tower to get against the Terrorblade lineup. He wants to access his triangle. He wants to play as much jungle as possible.
Ice. Yep, there's TPs coming from T1 right now. He gets the Burrow Strike off to the other side, but you have to think that he will likely die if there's a sentry here. Ice. He's actually prepping the epicenter. Gets it off. There's a little bit of residual damage to Whitemon, but the Dragon Tail's there, and Cuckoo.
Can you find a way out of this?
Burrow Strike into the TP. And it's going to be successful. Unreal. Ice.
Some Vanguard value.
Wow. Yeah,
he got a lot out of that one.
That was very nice. And this opens it up for the tier 1 to at least take heavy damage, if not just take the whole thing.
This is really good from EG to get this tower pressure in the meantime. They're not rotating to try to help Ice. They're just taking advantage of all the space he made. Are they actually getting a full tower? At 12, we were just praising Dragon Knight for getting it. That is
You've never
so
seen
huge.
the Puck Phoenix Tusk push before, Cinderin?
It's classic. You'd use tag team and you just smack that tower. Really good.
Man.
It doesn't work. Don't do it.
Yeah, that would be great, actually. That would be a good buff to Tusk.
Yeah, I definitely think tag team is the part of the hero that needs a buff. That's the way to go.
Yeah, true. Oh, there we see the coil onto 23 Savage. Snowball to follow into the Walrus Punch. High value kill for EG.
And they get the courier.
Yeah.
Bit of a bonus.
Adding insult to injury there as EG take a 2K net worth lead.
EG are very good at this when they're playing against these illusion-based carries. They're very good at catching them in the triangle with an offensive ward. And if they even get this top tier 1 tower, there's just even more access to shutting down this PL.
Do you think that comes from playing those heroes themselves? I mean,
I think that's
feels
a
like
part
the
of it.
triangle, especially on the Radiant side, is such an important thing for EG, at least
It's also
for the past
something.
6 months.
It's not just playing it themselves. It's something they specifically do really well with Puck. I think they're really taking advantage of Puck's ability to connect over cliffs. All right, Zephyr.
Zephyr is no more.
Space.
Not as much space as Ice because he wasted time and lived.
Regeneration.
But good effort. Good effort overall.
Money changes hands.
Diffusal will be coming out very soon.
All right, I want to talk to you about this. So 23 Savage, the PL. We talked about the shard, how it was nerfed pretty heavily. We still see it sometimes, and sometimes they just entirely ignore it. What are your thoughts on this right now? As in, do you get it at 20 minutes? It's not a requirement, obviously, since we can see a lot of people bypassing it.
I think in this game you probably don't. I think you're very stat dependent here. You need a lot of defensive items to survive all this AoE damage that EG are bringing. You need to hit this point of critical mass where they don't kill you anymore. So like, let's say you have Hood Manta or Hood Heart, so you can survive the first volley of spells and be a threat in fights. The problem I see is if you go for that Lance build up with the shard, that's all you are. You can't really do much more of that. So very
This is
they are
we'll
really
call that
ruining Zephyr.
that's a double kill.
Oh, I thought you were going to call it space. It's like the paintable.
It wasn't much spaces because they're in their jungle.
Nice Ice is threatening here. Not finishing the Crimson. He's going Travels.
On Ice?
Yep, Sand King is close to Travels.
Okay.
So gonna keep playing the map. And honestly, I really like this approach from EG right now. They know they have the stronger team fight. They know they've taken the towers that they needed to take. So let Arteezy farm whatever he wants and just try to pose a threat. What's going to end up happening likely is that this PL Diffusal is not going to come to much use because they can't really fight. And that means Arteezy outfarms him. If PL flat out only wants to farm, the usual farming build we see is at least a Yasha for the efficiency. Since he did go Diffusal, he doesn't have the luxury of farming as fast as a Terrorblade, and the gap is going to keep widening as he also needs to buy Hood against all the magic damage. So if EG can keep a firm grip on the map, this gold lead should increase over time. Currently sitting on 3K minute 15.
How much of that comes from seeing Cuckoo was building a Hannah Midas and then, obviously their mindset is to go late. So Boots of Travel gives you, I mean, it feels like a late game item almost because you don't want to buy it if the game's going to end in 20, 25 minutes.
I think maybe part of it is that, but I think it's more a natural result of the lineups more than the itemization. Like if Cuckoo had a drum or whatever, like some sort of cost-efficient item right now, I don't think it would have changed very much for EG's approach to the game. It would have been very similar. Nice deep ward here placed by Whitemon. Don't know if they're really looking to do anything though. I think what T1 are mainly warding here for is actually they're not placing aggressive wards to kill. They're placing aggressive wards to see EG smoke and make moves so that they can dodge them. Placing defensive wards leaves you more vulnerable to getting attacked than having the wards on the other side of the river where you see the move before it begins instead of seeing it when it comes in.
Reflection into, this is a triple kill.
Space.
Triple kill. Yeah, I mean, this is almost chain feeding at this point.
It's still really impressive to me how well 23 Savage is keeping up. This reminds me of last game where Arteezy Terrorblade has seemingly the whole map at his disposal. And at the same time, 23 Savage is only a few hundred gold behind. After he has been killed in his triangle, he's still keeping up. He's got the Hood now. And looks to be queuing up Manta. So in this slot, PL usually goes one of three items. He either goes Manta, Sanjin Yasha, or Heart.
Dire's bottom tower.
He is opting for the Manta here. There's obviously some big outplays. You can dodge Sunder, the initial cast. You can break Puck's Silence. And with some really clutchness, I think you can break out of Coil still. Dude right on the edge as Roche will go to EG.
Yeah, this is a really early one.
Yep.
16-minute Roche. Fly.
Pose here.
Yep, the strike on to 2. Looks like the snowball comes in as well. And the egg on the sideline into the epicenter. 23 Savage is in a lot of trouble. The right click from Arteezy. Will it be enough? Yes. Just barely. But they get the position one for T1. You were praising his farm. It's now the second death.
T1 has no business looking to fight into EG right now. I just think lineup-wise, it's not feasible to try to go. You need to keep pushing waves. If you do want to fight, it has to be Enchantress or Dragon Knight getting caught so that you can get your ET spells off so that your Peel can go. Peel walking in and casting a Spirit Lance there and then getting stunned by Sand King is almost the end of the fight already. Because he has one of two things will happen. Either he's going to die or he's going to run away. And what's your damage? If PL isn't fighting here, what damage does your lineup really have currently? It's not great.
Oh, Zephyr. Oh, no. No, please, no more. Not again.
You can do one more.
Not like this, please. One. Crit. Oh,
okay.
All right, Ice Shard's missed there. He still has Snowball at his disposal, though. And with the dive, Abed's there.
Oh, hello.
Hello. And yeah, this will be another death for Mr. Zephyr, having a bit of a rough one on Enchantress early on. That is 6 deaths, yeah. I mean, they only have 1 kill overall. This is This is starting to get a little stompy here, Cinderin. Like, from T1's perspective, what do you think that they need to do to kind of crawl back in this before it gets to be insurmountable territory?
Should have banned Punch.
Yeah, well, they did that game too, right? Or they took it themselves.
Right. I mean, I'm going to sound like a broken record. I think you have to dodge fights. Like, get vision out, try to play away, because it's something 23 Savage does really, really well. But they lost focus a little bit and got caught a couple of times. Ooh. Playing like that is really difficult, by the way. So I do think...
Oh, Coil coming. It's only onto Carl here. He's going to break it right off the bat. Snowball's coming, but look at the Sunray damage from afar. Nice Echo Stomp, though, on the 3 heroes. With the Burrow Strike into the epicenter on Cuckoo himself. And it looks like they're going to lose Fly to start things out here. It's going to be a trade, though, for Carl. That is the much more important kill as EG just continues to get these trades. Well, I guess they've only gotten 2 trades technically the whole game. Yeah. But they get the better of these situations.
Yep. That's the kind of fight that you have a chance in where you are on defense and the right hero gets jumped, right? It's the Dragon Knight. That's what we were talking about earlier. You need to get DK or Enchantress caught so that your other heroes have time to land their spells. You get an Earth Spike there, you get the Stomp like you said, but still not enough in the tank to get more than the Phoenix kill. It's something though. But playing Keep Away in Dota right now is really difficult. I do think you probably have to do it a little bit longer. Maybe the next item on PL or ET or both opens up a little bit, but the game just doesn't favor your lineup right now to take straight on 5-on-5 engagements.
Yeah, 23 Savage. Actually, it looks like he's just going for the almost like the magic build after the Manta. I mean, the Manta mostly to dispel, like you said, the Waning Rift is kind of the big one, but into the Shard and then Aether Lens, Cinderman, which could turn into Octarine. We've seen that before. It just becomes this very spammy Spirit Lance game where you're kind of playing from afar. You don't really want to fully commit.
Go again.
Yep, Coil will be broken right off the bat. Zephyr on the other side with the heals. Shard's going to connect, though. Nice block overall, but there's the ET ult from aside. EG taking heavy damage as a result. But here comes Fly from the other side now. Cuckoo gets off the Earth. So beautiful Echo Stomp onto several heroes. But it's not really going to matter for him. The Burrow Strike is far too powerful with the numbers from EG. That's another kill going their way.
They're doing all the right things. Like, their heroes are playing tight together. They're making moves on their conditions. Okay.
He's going Radiance.
Yep, that is my favorite Blink Dagger.
This is a pub build right here. Ice is playing a pub right now. All right, Burrow Strike into the Waning Rift. You can see the Fire Spirits from afar into the Sun Rays. This is actually getting enough damage to get the Dragon Tail off. Nice stun onto Fly, so no more percentage-based damage for you.
You do need to get out of here. They're running out of resources, and I do think they will full-on disengage.
Is this a troll? Like, honestly.
I think he's going to buy it against PL.
That's awesome. Oh, yeah, that's true. It's really good against PL.
So he has the luxury of not buying Dagger. We talked about that 10 minutes ago, that maybe he isn't even going to buy one. Like, he's just going to tank up, and they are going to initiate with Puck Tusk.
That usually is going to be a report, at least in my experience.
So there's probably about like 20,000 aspiring players watching this game right now, and they're like, "Oh, Radiant Sand King, very good.
This is how this is how trends are started."
Usually when pro players buy something and you're like, "That's weird," a lot of the times think about what they're thinking instead of just blindly buying the same item. He is not buying this item every game.
But it's more fun to blindly buy the items, Cinderella.
It is. It is more fun to play with Radiance and Dagger. I do agree. It is very fun to have carry items on an offlaner.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he was in the safe lane technically, to be clear.
That's true. Maybe he's the carry.
Yeah.
Arteezy offlane Terrorblade.
Yep, easy. He's just going to play the armlet Sunder roll, right, with the Dagon.
Yes, my favorite build from 15 years ago.
This is going to be the tier 1 tower top.
22 minutes it took with Enchantress
very late
to get the tower for T1. EG almost getting bought tier 2. Some defense coming in here from Carl and Whiteman. They're going to back off. So, all right, 6K lead, EG. I think something interesting, we're talking a lot about this Radiance, but like Kyle, or sorry, it wasn't Kyle, it was BSJ on the panel pointed out.
I get them mixed up all the time.
Yeah, they're very similar somehow. Like BSJ was pointing out, this is a game that's a lot about the carry versus carry matchup, especially in the series, and you're making the game easier for your Terrorblade by buying Radiance. You're easing the carry matchup.
The Coil's going to connect on 2, but it looks like EG might be... Fly wants to potentially go in.
That was a little bit wild there. He could have got Earth Spiked and died there for sure. Or Dragon Tailed maybe, but DK was not in range.
And these illusions are starting to get really annoying. It is 22.5 minutes in. Does he have Shard? Yeah, I was going to say. He feels like he has Shard.
He's going SNY. Okay.
Okay, so he switched it up here. Okay, I mean, you get the status resistance, but you can't instantly dispel the Waning Rift, which, I mean, it feels like when you're a puck, you're going to be coiling him immediately anyway, usually, right?
Coiling PL is usually very good when you have this amount of overwhelming team fight. He will be stuck, you know where he is, all of your stuff is going to land, and hopefully it's enough. I still question whether he should be going a heart, but maybe the damage output of him is too low. Going for heart over SNY plus lens, but
Come and fight me.
T1, they knew what they got themselves into with this draft. I don't think they can be surprised that they're losing team fights. They just need to weather the storm. Closing in on maybe a BKB for Cuckoo would be big. BKB on Dragon Knight, and PL's next item is a big timing. And for EG, the goal is, until those items come up, keep extending your lead, look for kills, try to maybe get a tower in the second Roche. Second Roche is very big. Obviously, we didn't talk too much about BKB as an item in this game. It kind of counters almost everything EG has.
They're going to find Cuckoo. Zephyr's on the other side here, but if he's not careful, he's going to get his millionth death of the game. Although TP support's coming in, Carl pops his BKB with the Dragon Form. Nice egg. Will he be able to kill in time? The Burrow Strike does connect. They kill the egg, though. Whitemon gets his finger of death on him. He's going to lift this engagement to start things off. Red getting chased now as Arteezy pops that meta. It's just pounding into everybody. 23 Savage is done for this fight. As Carl's just getting chased back into the base, and Ice finishes off Whitemon finally. Just living on the edge with that Lion for such a long period. Ends up being a 3 for 2, but again, EG just lose their supports.
It is. You are seeing some signs of promise here from T1, though. That was the first team fight that they got kills in. That seemed like, okay, they can stand their ground, and the really key thing here is Dragon Knight has a BKB.
Yeah.
And they connect on the Phoenix, who even gets egg off. Like, imagine there's no supernova there. That could have maybe just a little bit of less time they needed to commit on Phoenix. Could have perhaps swung that in their favor. So definitely within reach for them in these fights. And, you know, we had this situation in the last game. EG have like this insane burst damage. They're killing heroes really fast. And ultimately the heroes of T1 got too tanky. Could this become a repeat of that? If they have solutions for Terrorblade, Tusk damage falls off. Sand King damage falls off.
Puck not so much, though. Puck feels like it scales a lot better than it used to, at least.
It does. It definitely does scale better than it used to, but it's still probably not scaling at the rate of Dragon Knight ETPL, right? So you have to keep up the tempo as EG and make sure you don't run into this issue again where you run out of damage.
EG's perspective, that was a fight where 4K of net worth was basically dead. That was a sacred relic just sitting in the base for Sand King.
That's true.
And once he gets his Radiance, which is about 100 away, I feel like these fights will just be amplified in their favor, at least for the short term. And with the next Roche coming in
Do
a
they
minute.
have a Veil on Phoenix?
On Mr. Fly himself?
They don't. So they have so insane much, like, this is one of those things where I'm like thinking to myself, do you buy a Veil to make everyone's damage so much bigger and hit this timing? Or is it gonna backfire because you put too many X into the magic damage basket? You know what I mean? Like, because Veil right now looks insane with Phoenix, Sand King, Puck, but obviously they're looking at the bigger picture, and later on the BKB is going to counter the Veil, and instead they have this Sunray with the Holy Locket.
Zephyr, he's actually gonna live. He actually lives there.
Close call.
We haven't seen this yet. This is something new for T1. Up, Coil. It's going to be snapped.
Snap that.
Right off the bat. He's been doing this pretty much the whole game, and will it cost him his life? I mean, he was dead anyway, but yes. Carl does die to Fly. Whitemon in the meantime trying to TP out. Nope, that Arteezy right click just ends up being enough, and this will be a tier 2 tower, if not more. Roshan up in 15 seconds as well.
Not popping BKB there for Dragon Knight is pretty damn cocky. Like, thinking you're going to get out of that. The amount of damage there. It's the BKB that's keeping you afloat. And you thought you were going to snap that coil and live. The EG say no, sir. And they're going to push high ground. There are buybacks here, and they obviously do have ET, so Cuckoo will be slowing this down a lot with this stomp. Hitting everyone, buying a lot of time. Was thinking about the ulti, but
The heal from Fly.
Actually got a very minor bit of damage on that tower with that.
The Radiance.
We're going to get more.
Radiance is online now.
What
What do you think of this build on Cuckoo Elder Titan? So it's off lane. I was expecting maybe a little bit more right click, but is it because he's behind he has to go for the Glimmer Cape? We're going to see the Dragon Tail. Okay, going to start this fight out. Get the Spirit Lance out, but there is the Arteezy Sunder into the BKB. That looks like they want to run, absolutely. And the chase is on from T1. Abed should be able to get out. Arteezy might be in some trouble though. Fly getting the heal up for now. Carl pops the BKB. There's the echo from the Big Burrow Strike to follow though. Arteezy, he's getting chased down. No Sunder for him. That is is a dead Abed and Arteezy, but the epicenter is enormous from Ice, and will the egg actually pop it? Looks like it will. Don't think they can kill it in time, just in time, but they don't have the right clicks anymore because their carries are dead, but Ice, he's the true carry, Synderen. He has the Radiance, and 23 Savage is dead again. Carl now on the run, or on the fly as it were, since he is a freaking dragon after all. Crit, putting somebody in his snowball. Looks like it's Ice, but the buyback now onto the off-lane Cuckoo. That might be enough to just break up this fight. They can't go for Roche without either Abed or Arteezy, but somehow EG come out ahead on that because I want to say the egg and the epicenter.
I'd love a damage recap from that fight. I think Ice single-handedly basically killed 3 heroes here. Like,
good lord.
Epicenter on 2 with Radiance, with full duration Sandstorm. He gets the stun follow-up there to save the egg with 1 hit left.
Look at how casual his hand is on his keyboard. Doesn't even look like he's trying. Is that even the right replay?
Imagine if
like he's
Ice
browsing
was trying.
Reddit or
Maybe they would
something.
win every tournament.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
Burrow strike on the Cuckoo. Echo Stomp does connect onto 2. He's still blocked off for the time being. Gets off his beautiful ult, but Cuckoo's just going to get chased down now. He's inside the coil right now with 3 heroes. Brett looks like he's going to be the first to fall for EG. That will be a nice turnaround for T1. Now the blink into the Dragon Tail. Fly might be next on the list. Indeed he is. They do have double buyback if they really want to expend it, but doesn't look like much of a need here for EG.
I honestly think one of the things about T1 that's the most impressive at this tournament is how good they are playing when they're behind. Like, we've seen other teams kind of just lose control and never really come back. T1 are finding ways to set up fights that they have a good chance in, and this one was one of those where Cuckoo gets caught, but is just tanky enough with that Glimmer Cape to stay alive, and they rotate in. Obviously, EG, part of the problem there is, you could argue it's an overextension, but T1 play with the chances that they have even behind. And what did they gain from that? So, I guess what we maybe should be talking about is why is Cuckoo buying BKB over Axe, right? They cost about the same. The BKB is more reliable because you don't have to hit the Spirit on so many heroes, and you get to pop it whenever you want. That is probably the primary reason. Oh, Abed.
Yeah, he's playing with fire here.
Hiding in the soft spot of Roche. I don't think it's called that, but now it's called the soft spot, which is where you don't get spotted when people walk in.
Okay. I guess we can go with that. Sure.
Yep. Oh,
Savage.
3 seconds
Waiting
on
Rift to
Coil.
fall.
Is he going to get the right
Coil
one?
soon. Yes. Loser Orb to fall. He might break it. No, they're actually just going to go for the Burrow Strike into the Epicenter, but he's actually already out. Epicenter's going to be applied mostly to the Enchantress with the Burrow Strike and the Walrus Punch. But Zephyr is still living. Good lord. Arteezy has an Aghanim Scepter. What in God's name? He's just right-clicking the crap out of 23 Savage. And Zephyr still living. He has learned how to not die this game, it looks like. But now he's getting slowly chipped away with that Sunray. Now he's just going to die to the tower. So that time he did create quite a bit of space, but...
I think like some grilled deer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, talk to me about this Arteezy Aghanim Scepter. That's a really early one. This is like the old, like when they first added this variation, NA, in terms of like EG and all the other NA teams, they were buying this like first, sometimes second item.
I think it just
really
shows
good.
EG's read on the game is double down on the team fights right now, right? The synergy between this and Coil is super strong against the PL, and yeah, he's just taking advantage of that. The fact that EG is strong right now. Crazy. Like you said, the Coil on PL actually lasted pretty short because he has S and Y as well as the Type 2. So a lot of status resistance coming his way, but it's still not enough.
Who's getting the shard?
The dusk is
I just want, oh my god, I was going to say, okay. This, I think, is the literal worst shard in the game. Am I wrong? Did they change this for Sand King? You get the Epicenter thing that goes off occasionally. I think it's in fog, you can still see them, if I'm not mistaken. I saw this recently.
There was one.
This is... So every X amount of units you move, you get an Epicenter proc. Am I wrong that this is really bad?
It's good against PL. There's movement happening in the fights all the time.
Okay.
You're chasing after PL, you get procs.
I mean, I would love to be wrong. I've just seen that
what
like
are the alternatives, right?
I guess I don't see it through fog.
Phoenix has his own. Puck gets the Waning Rift upgrade, which isn't that great this game, not necessary. The Tusk one.
That one's amazing. Kicking out of Coil, that is god tier.
Isn't the Tusk one Sigil?
Oh, you're right. That's the Aghanim Scepter I'm thinking of.
Carl is flying, but
half
not
HP.
TP.
He is super dead. Percentage-based
Carl
damage
is
to
dying.
follow. And there's another
He
dragon
is
hitting him.
No, that was not the word I was
Okay, you're
looking
right.
for.
The Tusk one isn't very good either. Yeah.
So, I mean, if you look at the big picture, I just don't know. I mean, Sigil could have been decent this game. It's pretty
maybe.
good, I would say.
It's just a boring one because it's an old skill, right? But okay, I'm willing to be wrong on this ice shard. It looks like we were looking through fog. It does not go through, so I guess they fixed that. That was, I mean, that's literally game losing in some
Radiant's
situations.
middle tower
Or it
is under
was.
attack.
So that's good to see.
PG are building a
Radiant's middle
really big lead.
tower has
Ice was top net worth. He is so
He is
farmed.
huge. Yeah.
It's crazy. He's out farming a Terrorblade, a Sand King in this game.
And he still is not going for Blink anytime soon. I'm a little surprised he's not going for an Ag still.
He's a
but-
boss. He's going
Yeah,
in.
and there you see the extra epicenter proc thanks to the amazing shard picked up from Ice. There's Arteezy. He's going to pop that meta. Abed has a quad man coil into the fear. Will it break? Yes. That is one death right off the bat. The silence onto 23 Savage. Looks like Cuckoo did glimmer himself, but he's not going to last much longer, and this could be the beginning of the end for T1 at the AniMajor. Ice gets off the burrow strike from afar. It's going to be a buyback, though. So we'll see if they're able to get more than this. It is 5 versus 4, and no Cuckoo for a long time. Arteezy's meta will not last forever, though.
Radiant's bottom tower.
He's already expended the fear, which gives you that extra meta time as well. I do believe that they're going to get this Rax in all likelihood. Although 23 Savage with these illusions, this shark can be really annoying to deal with. Ice's build. I mean, we're going to see this in pubs for generations to come, Cinderin. And I don't know if I'm happy with it.
For all the wrong reasons.
Short at 20 minutes, I think, is what's going to happen. Not from Roche. You're going to purchase it yourself. And he's almost done with Shivas. He is redonkulously tanky right now. Didn't even mention Essence Shroud. Nobody buys this item anymore. Very cool to see.
You mean Eternal Shroud?
What did I say? I said Essence Shroud. Yeah, sorry, Eternal Shroud.
I was testing to see if you remembered what you said 5 seconds ago, and
Well,
you did. So that's a good
yeah.
sign for your cognitive ability.
I'm not that old yet.
No.
We're getting there.
That's good.
We're getting there.
That's fine. Got some years left in us.
Essence Shroud. What is Essence Shroud? Is that anything?
There's an Essence
Oh
ring.
my god,
Oh,
a triple
money.
bounty rune.
Wonderful.
Goodness
That's
gracious.
270 gold for every hero.
Yeah, that's nice.
EG 21,000 net worth lead. They've just done such a good job at forcing team fights this game. That's really been the name of the game for them the whole way. They know they're stronger in team fights. They know they have the catch with the Sand King, Puck, and the Tusk, and they just keep taking it to T1, not letting them hit the timing that they're looking for. PL hasn't really got online in this game, and all of the BKB charges of Dragon Knight have just been forced out really early, so he's not very strong either. The biggest problem for T1 the whole game has been lack of damage, really. Like, they just... ET still doesn't have BKB. We're 35 minutes in. He never got there. The game is almost over, and his item build isn't ready yet.
Oh boy.
It's actually... It's kind of crazy to think that he buys Midas' first item, and his next major item, not counting the Glimmer, is delayed more than 20 minutes beyond his Midas.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a 4K gold item.
All right, Dragon Tail. Remember, 45 seconds still on the Aegis here, so they don't want to expend too much on Arteezy. Looks like they'll get the tower at the very least. Abed jumps in. Look at that phase shift damage with that Desolator applied. Has to force out his BKB in that Dragon form now. Still right-clicking his Ice, jumps in. Elder Titan ult does actually connect on Arteezy, who expended the BKB. Kind of wants to play a little bit careful because this Aegis is going to go down soon. Just wants to get the full heal without taking damage. But with that Desolator, you have to think that this is going to be at the very least a melee Rax again in favor of EG. Ice, look how far up he is. He's basically run. We see the coil onto 2. This could be the end of the game here. Into the fear again. Beautifully done from EG. They're going to get that kill right off the bat on Carl, and there's not a whole lot that T1 can do. 23 Savage takes a tumble. Triple kill for Arteezy. GG's our call. EG again making it to the grand finals of a major, Cinderin.
Yeah, what a deserved win this was in the third game. I think they just